Hi, everybody. Donna Fresca. I have to tell you a really amazing story that I guess you could say proves that there is an afterlife. Okay, so on Father's Day weekend, this past Father's Day weekend in June, I was at my cabin in the woods in the mountains of North Carolina, and it was the anniversary of my dad's passing, 2 years. So I happened to have cat. My both my parents' urns with me, and I went into the room where he stayed and held these two urns close to my heart, and I said, "Sorry, it's my cat," and I said, "Mom and Dad, miss you so much. Um, I hope you guys are having a good time in heaven." I don't remember the exact words I was saying. So I'm standing in his room with my back up against the wall, facing, the window on the outer part of the room, and I see something go by the window. And I'm like, ooh, what was that? And the way the lighting was, um, the thing that went by, which I thought was a bird, was silhouetted again because of the way the lighting was. So I walked over to the window and I'm like, I think this is a bird. And I'm like, if this is going to be a cardinal, I'm going to poop my pants, putting it bluntly. Yeah. I never really believed in that cliche, oh, when you see a cardinal, it's a sign of your loved one's passing. Like I said, until I experience something myself, I don't really believe it. So I had the two urns in my hands and I walk over to the window and there it was, a cardinal. I mean, I just started crying, happy tears. Now, let me just tell you the little story about the cardinal. Is that when my dad came to live with me, I guess 3 years ago now, um, he didn't know really anything about birds. So we would sit in the backyard and he would watch the bird feeder and he always enjoyed the red bird. And he's like, oh, what is that red bird? I'm like, that's a cardinal. He's like, it's so red. I go, yes, that's the male cardinal. And then the female cardinal would be on the feeder as well. And I would tell him that's the female cardinal. It's like a brownish red. Okay, so long story short, he learned his birds, but the cardinal was always one that he enjoyed watching the most. I guess because the color was amazing. I don't know. But anyway, I just thought that was so amazing that here I am in his room that used to be his room with the urns, holding the urns, and I'm talking to him. It's like, I miss you so much. And I said all kinds of things. And this bird flies by the window. And actually, that part of the window at my cabin, birds don't go. I mean, there's no food there. It's by the driveway. It's at the end of the deck where a swing is. I've never seen any bird on that part of the railing by the deck. So it was very special, a very special moment. And one that validates the afterlife. Here I am talking to a past loved one, and just coincidentally, a cardinal just flies right by the window and sits there. Makes you think, doesn't it? I mean, as a medium, I have a lot of experiences with the afterlife, and over time, after these dozens and dozens of occurrences, it's when people say, "Oh, our loved ones never leave us," they don't. The format just changes, but the energy is always there. And I know this because I've talked to my mom I don't see too often. I hear my mom, but my dad I see, I feel, I hear, all the senses because he lived with me and we grew close. But it's amazing how the energy, the person, once they pass, their physical form changes and now it's just pure energy. The average person can't see them, hear them, feel them, but they're there. It's very hard to explain. It really is, but it's very cool. I mean, I know everybody says, "Oh, okay, well, if my parents or my loved one, if they're here, I want to feel them. I want to hug." Unfortunately, it doesn't work that way. There's different senses that you use to connect with your loved ones. And those coincidences just are the period at the end of the sentence. And that's happened time and time again with my dad. And it's really amazing. Anyway, I want to share that story with you. Proof of the afterlife. When you talk to your loved ones, they're listening. But you have to be fine-tuned enough to hear their responses or to feel their responses or to know their responses. Those are the clairs that I'm talking about. Once you have enough development within yourself where you can, your senses are just spot on, you've come a long way. And the spirit world gets super, super amazing. So, all right. So that's the video for today and proof of the afterlife. Pretty amazing.